Apple has just released its latest lineup of iPhones, the iPhone 17 line. Now everything looks cool as is with every iPhone launch, but what's new and truly unique about the iPhone 17 line? That's what we'll explore in today's video, so let's get into it right after the intro. iPhone 17. Let's start off with the base model iPhone 17. This year's iPhone 17 retains the same design as the previous year's iPhone 16, just with a display size of 6.3 inches compared to last year's 6.1 inches. Continuing with the display, this year Apple has expanded its ProMotion technology and always-on display to all of the iPhone 17s, from the base model to the Pro Max. What's ProMotion, you may ask? It's a feature that lets your iPhone achieve a refresh rate of 120 Hz, making playing games and scrolling look so much smoother. The screen is also more durable this year, with Apple's new Ceramic Shield 2, which is advertised as being 3 times more scratch resistant. This year, we also got an improvement on battery life, rated at up to 30 hours of video playback, compared to the iPhone 16's 22 hours. In terms of camera upgrades, the ultra-wide camera has been upgraded to 48 megapixels, matching the main camera. The front camera has also been upgraded to the center stage camera, which we'll talk about later, and that's what's new with the iPhone 17. Now let's talk about the Pro and Pro Max. One big thing this year with the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max is the design, which now features this long camera bump, reminiscent of the Google Pixel phones. This is also the first year that the Pro doesn't come in black. Instead, we have Cosmic Orange, which looks a bit too bright in person, Deep Blue, which is the closest to black, and Silver, because it's just a classic color with plot armor. The Pros now have a ceramic shield for the back glass too, for increased durability. Now the back glass is only this small rectangle here, but this should add durability. Speaking of durability, this year the Pro models have switched back to using an aluminum unibody rather than the titanium body of the previous 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. The base model and iPhone Airs retain the titanium finish. The batteries on the Pro and Pro Max are 33 hours from 27 and 39 hours from 33 hours respectively. The cameras are now capable of shooting in ProRes RAW for increased flexibility for editors, and they're capable of Genlock, which intuitively syncs up footage timing when filming across multiple Genlock capable devices. And that's what's new with the iPhone 17 lineup. But there's one more thing: iPhone Air. The iPhone Air is Apple's wildcard entry that feels like somewhat of a breath of fresh air. In a world where all smartphones look the same, not daring to change much.
Can't innovate anymore, my ass.
Apple has launched the thinnest iPhone ever, a record they haven't dared to beat since the iPhone 6 Bendgate fiasco from 2014. This is also the second thinnest smartphone ever, second only to the 2014 Vivo X5 Max. The iPhone Air replaces the iPhone Plus line, however it does have a slightly smaller screen, at 6.5 inches compared to last year's iPhone 16 Plus's 6.7 inches. However, the screen features the ProMotion and always-on display upgrades that the rest of the iPhone 17 line has, and it's made of titanium, making it extremely bend resistant. The Air has the Ceramic Shield 2 front and the Ceramic Shield 1 backing. It has the same A19 Pro as the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. The battery is also surprisingly rated for 27 hours, but your mileage may vary based on how heavily you use your phone. The Air unfortunately only has one lens, which is a fusion camera, similar to the iPhone 16e's camera, just that the Air has a 48 megapixel lens. The fusion camera allows for one lens with 2 zoom options, 1x zoom and 2x zoom. This lens also means no cinematic mode. Other than these main features, the iPhone Air is pretty much the same spec-wise as the base model iPhone 17. Now let's look at the features that are shared between all 4 of the phones. One of the major new features this year is the center stage front camera, which makes it so that the front camera sensor is a square, allowing for much more stabilization and adjusting the capture orientation without having to rotate the phone. The back camera on all models have been upgraded to feature 48 megapixel sensors for each lens. There's also a new dual capture feature, similar to the one from the Samsung Galaxy S4, where you can have the video from your front camera overlaid over the footage from your back camera. All of the models also now start with a base storage of 256 gigabytes, which is a much needed upgrade considering just how much iOS has grown in size in the last 5 years alone. The full lineup also features neural accelerators in their GPUs, which are intended to make AI and machine learning operations much more snappy and smooth by improving the processing speed through these dedicated accelerators. Another big feature that's been brought to Apple's entire lineup this year is liquid glass. This is reflected in the new UIs for macOS 26, iPadOS 26, watchOS 26, tvOS 26, and most importantly, iOS 26. This design basically makes all of the design elements look a lot like glass that's able to morph itself like liquid would. It's a really cool design philosophy, and I really like it. A lot of people see it as the comeback of Fruitager Aero in a more modern style, but there's quite a few differences between both of them. For one, it's not extremely glossy like most of Fruitager Aero was, and in newer builds of iOS 26, it does seem like Apple's toning down on the liquid glass a bit, so not necessarily a Fruitager Aero renaissance, but it's still something for us Fruitager Aero fans. So now let's go ahead and unbox the iPhone 17. Overall, there are quite a few new features on this year's lineup of iPhones. However, the base model 17 is a rather underwhelming upgrade compared to the base model 16. But if you're just getting into iPhones, the iPhone 17 is a terrific deal. Now, as per the pros, in my honest opinion, it looks somewhat like a toy, but still has a pretty good overall design. The Air, however, has to be the biggest upgrade this year. It's the thinnest iPhone ever, extremely durable, has surprisingly decent battery life, and has nice specs. So should you upgrade? Here's a chart I've made for each phone and whether you should upgrade. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and found it useful. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!